Why you laugh?
Yo,
Why
we
you
live.
laugh, right?
Yo, yo, we live, man. I thought he was gonna play the video, but
Oh yeah,
I ain't
we
asked
didn't
him
do
to.
anything.
But we live.
Wait, what video?
We Tanika's. I mean Tanifia's. We live. We live, man. I got two queens in the building. One y'all saw week after week. Dr. Love, Tanika B Love, the cookbook,
Crook.
dietitian. You know what I'm saying?
The cookbook
She
You
gonna
crook.
feed
funny,
you some stuff
Stax.
that she got a recipe that's gonna make you regurgitate hate and embrace love. So get the book. Tell them the name of the book again. I forgot it. I gotta order mine.
You just sound real disrespectful right now, but I'm gonna let that go.
Oh,
My book is called Cooking with Love, Lost the Battle, Won the War. It's a inspirational book slash cookbook, 48 mouthwatering recipes, real true stories about my life, lessons that I've learned, and challenges that I face. It's available on all.com platforms, and you can get it directly from me if you go to tanikabelove.com and also through the publisher's website. And it's also on Amazon Kindle.
And now we got the heavy hitter straight out of Harlem, huh? Double up, talk to him. LB, you remember?
Yes,
Harlem
everybody knows. Harlem Finest, CEO of Envy Me Records, New Vision Meets Entertainment. So yes, I'm the CEO of my own record label. I'm also a chef from the Brooklyn Nest. Oh, where's the other piece? For my car. That's the key.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I do.
Say that again.
I said that's pretty much what I do. Oh, say which part again?
I ain't hear neither one of y'all. Say that one more time.
Oh, I was saying I'm Gladys, Harlem Finest, right? Envy Me Records, New Vision Meets Entertainment, which is my record label. I'm also a chef for the Brooklyn Nets, and that's really it.
Ooh.
Okay. Brooklyn, they go hard, but I'm from Harlem. Who cares?
who cares?
Hey, yo. So one thing I want to tap into real quick. I got two mothers on the show. Knowledge is here. He's a father. I'm a father of the world. You heard? If you know. So Tanika had asked earlier about the young lady that was missing in the Bronx. She's a little 12-year-old girl. She left for school and she went missing for a few days. And she was returned home, but she was at a friend's house for those days.
I'm sorry. That just sounds crazy. Because where's the friend's parent? Like, why didn't the parent tell that little girl to call her mother?
Thank you. That's what I said.
Like, that's crazy.
The parents has to be held accountable.
Exactly.
So this is just me as a parent, as a man. I always say this. If I got married today or tomorrow, and I have my mom has 6 kids, so I got 5 other siblings. Until my kid is old enough to say my daddy said don't do that, or my mommy said don't do that, my kid would never be able to leave and stay anywhere without me. Because I know generally that a lot of people feel like the rules change for the kid when you're under their supervision. And I need my kid to stay with the same morals and principles that I install in them, as opposed to what somebody else installs in them, because this is not going to be a tug of war. You're not going to send my kid over here on demon time, and my kid is a straight A student when he with me, but he come to you and he cursing and flipping, and we're not doing that. So, oftentimes it becomes a comfortability thing, and that's the thing that we miss a lot.
A comfortability thing. Do you, well, having children and knowing that you can instill all the morals and values that you want, but when they go to other people's house, sometimes they are allowed things to they're allowed to see things and participate in things that we wouldn't normally allow them to. And as a child, when they're forbidden to do things, they tend to go ahead and disobey and do the opposite.
Now, I don't disagree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like, until my kid is old enough to say no, understand to say no, because they know. But we just gonna be twins. We're gonna be hanging out all the time together.
I definitely
And then
understand.
also too,
You want to go?
you gotta go check out the parents' house too. Like, cause me, I'm not letting my kid go to nobody's house unless I go observe that house first, because you're not gonna go from this environment to a whole different environment. That's not what you're doing.
Exactly. And then generally, I gotta see how you are as a parent as well, right? Mm-hmm. Because I can observe the household and still disagree with how you raise your own kid.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. When my daughter was young, go ahead, finish what you were saying.
We in the era of disrespect.
I was saying that when my daughter was young, she never went anywhere. Any kid that spent the night had to come to my house. And definitely at any age, I had to have a conversation with the parents of the other children or other child. I definitely had to be familiar with them. It wasn't like I didn't know them at all. Hey, mommy, can so and so come to my house and spend a night? No, it had to be some familiarity involved in order for anyone to come to my house and stay. But my daughter wasn't allowed to go anywhere. When she went to her family's house, things happened. And so, I kind of like managed that as well when she was younger. Definitely when she was a little girl, between the ages of 3 to like 7 or 8. I didn't really let her have any company or do anything. Staxx, this is Staxx. Who's that? So you as a mother, how old are your children?
10, 14, and one going to be 17.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, and are they girl boys?
I have 2 boys and 1 girl.
Now, do you see like a big significant difference between the girls and your son as far as how you treat them?
No.
No, you treat them all the same.
I treat them all the same. Mm-hmm.
Because I know like some parents, they tend to be a little bit more lenient with their sons than with their daughters.
See, like with my daughter, she probably would get more because this is how I reward them. You bring me good grades, you get rewarded. So she just gets rewarded a lot because of her grades a little bit better. So I just I treat them all the same based on, what they are giving me, because I'm not going to give you something and not give me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
what I learned a big lesson in rewarding. Yes, you definitely praise them and reward them, but it definitely has to be monitored, because what I found with my daughter, because she did very well, she excelled in school, and I was always rewarding her. And then there came a time where I'm like, why am I rewarding her for something that she should be doing already? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She should be working her hardest to do her best to be her greatest in school. And so it became like an expectation. I remember she did very well and I didn't give her anything. And that caused like such a big problem because she was expecting something. And it's like if she's only doing it just to get the reward. Whereas in intentional learning, she should want to do it because it would benefit her.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Well, with her, she does it because it benefits her. And I know my daughter, she loves school. So
Mm-hmm.
even certain days, like when they out of school, like that whole remote thing, I'm glad they went back though. But she wasn't with it. She was ready to go back to school. She loves to be in school and she loves what she do. And then I'm like, all right, because she's in Catholic school and their requirements is a little high. For me as a parent, it's really high.
Mm-hmm.
So her being on the honor roll was something like, no, I'm gonna make sure she has A, B, and C, because that's something hard to achieve at where she's at.
Right.
So that's why I always reward her. And if I don't get her reward, it's not like she don't feel down or she don't feel anything, because she know mommy always does. So I'll be like, okay, I'll get you this later, and she's okay with it.
Okay. That's good. Because my daughter, man, once I start rewarding her for everything that she did, because I find like she's just getting gifts. She was just doing things just to get rewards. I'm like, no, these are things that you should be doing, like chores. These are things that you should be doing. I shouldn't have to reward you for things that you should be doing already.
But I don't know. See, when it comes to like chores and stuff, even though you're 100% right, those are things you're supposed to be doing. But also, I look at it as, because me, I'm into network marketing and things like that, with different ways of how to get money. So for them, that's another thing for them to get money. Like, oh, mommy, can I do this or do that? Because they know I'm going to pay them.
Right.
So, and then like my son just asked me, like, mom, for the summer, I want to do summer youth. So I already know. So this is why I always give him things to do, so he can make a little extra money on the side to do, little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the chores like you said, but even though it's something that she's doing anyway, as something to, pay them to as well. So they can get in a habit of, knowing how to make money or get money in different types of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's helping somebody giving you a tip, anything like that.
What's your take on it, Staxx?
Ask the question again.
She was just saying that she has 3 children. She explained she broke down the ages, two boys and 1 girl. And she said that, they do well in school and she give them rewards. So how do you feel about rewards in reference to doing well in school or even chores? Like,
I think a lot of people don't understand that everything in life is earned, and nothing is really given except life. So generally, like, disrespect is earned and it's not given. You know what I'm saying? You got to earn someone's disrespect. Somebody will give you respect, and you got to earn their disrespect. But if you earn good grades, you actually earn other things that go with that. At the same time, for some of us, I remember when my son was a kid, I remember telling him, like, yo, if you get good grades, I'll give you anything you want. And he just ran up on me at his report card. He's like, Dad, you told me I get good grades, I can ask for anything. And he bust out the report card. Super hype. And now he's like asking for ridiculousness, like stuff that he doesn't use, right? And it got to the point where I had to teach him about being responsible with the things that he was asking for. I had to teach him about still understanding that like the last part of what she was saying about helping somebody and getting $1 that way, or because it keeps them wanting to work. It keeps them with the mindset that if I work for it, if I earn it, then I'm deserving of it because I worked for it, I earned it, as opposed to oftentimes it's just about the grade and not what else you can actually bring to the table. Then it's also a situation where oftentimes we'll give them things as parents with the thought pattern that we are actually giving them stuff because we want them to have something we never had. And in most cases, we forget that the most important thing that we could give them is morals and principles and our time. something that can't be replaced, right? Time and people is two things you never get back. So, you know, I had to learn that from actually doing time in prison, because I used to want my kid to have everything that I never had, and didn't realize that I was taken away from him by trying to give him the things that I never had, which was monetary. You know what I'm saying? It was clothes and stuff like that, and like he really just wanted my time. And each situation that I've ever encountered with him, he was more happy having my time, me spending time with him, than he was when I bought him a pair of Jordans, or bought him a pair of the same sneakers as I had, or $300 shirt, because he didn't understand what that was anyway.
Oh, cool. Now, one important thing that I know that I didn't learn growing up was about financing and banking and managing money. Now they have these debit cards and
Amen,
everything.
girl.
Yes,
Amen.
and debit cards, and that you can, like my daughter, I gave her a debit card, and I used to put my daughter and my son, I gave them debit cards, and they used to have, I put their allowance on their debit card. But what I did was they had a set amount of allowance, and during the week they had chores. And if they didn't do their chores, then money would be deducted.
I think that kind of coincides with what I said, with the exception of the debit cards. I just came to that realization as far as the banks and the debits and all that, because my goddaughters actually have prepaid debit cards that I do the same thing with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only because they mom, for some reason, never met me to open a bank account for them, because that's what I really wanted to give them for Christmas. Same thing with my godson, him being 5 years old, and me being so good at math, or just good at counting money and having money. You know, these paper cuts didn't come from writing; they came from counting. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to heal from this shit, but I always want to place him in a position to win, and the best way to do it is by giving him the space to have financial literacy, which I actually have, you know, a high level of certificates in. In case y'all looking for a financial advisor, you can come.
Okay. When I become a millionaire, I'm gonna have you manage my money, Staxx.
Definitely looking
Yeah,
for
come on, meet me at the casino.
Definitely. Go ahead. You finished?
Nah, I just wanted to. I mean, you obviously not finished on the topic, so let's keep going.
No, we can go ahead and move forward to the topic.
But that's a good topic, though.
Go ahead. So
what you just said is true. Like, if I think that if what we know now, but then wait. So for me, I know more now than I did before.
Right.
Finance, because like she said, we weren't taught that. So being that I started learning that, like, as I was turning into an adult, was just kind of crazy. But you know, it is what it is. The system is not built to teach us these things. And if it is, we got to take our kids, we got to put them into these different private schools so they can be taught finance, which is crazy. Okay? And the only reason why I'm saying this, because one day my daughter came home and she asked me about residual income. That's one thing she asked me about. And she asked me, do I have assets? So the first thing I said to her was, what do you even know about assets? And this is something that she's learned in school. I never even learned this in school, not in the third grade or any other grade period. So finance, like, that's a good thing. And even, you know, starting with their bank accounts, like you said, when they do chores, giving them money and things like that. That's something that I recently started doing too as well. That is a good way to, you know.
Yes.
I believe generally that we come from a place where, I said this before and somebody got offended, and I actually was like, okay, who cares? I don't care that you're offended, right? But the reality is that in most cases, we don't teach our kids, we don't, as men, because we're away from the home, and as women, because women blame men for being away from the home and they doing it by themselves, and right, generally it comes, we not teaching our kids that they are kings, that they are queens, that, you know, your daddy's little princess and you the prince, and we not and we're not letting them walk in that kind of light. Then we're not teaching the young men how to be bosses. Women aren't teaching they women how to be they daughters how to be wives, right? So now that becomes a situation where if mommy didn't have 4 dudes in a year, you know what I'm saying? That's every 3 months you got a new dude, right? And you bringing them around. Now your daughter is thinking that shit is okay, right? Then if I'm not teaching my son how not to be a worker to be a boss, automatically he's going to become content with just working.
And that's why you gotta have that conversation
there's
with
no
your kids.
Right.
Like you say,
right.
like my son called me queen. I call him prince. My daughter, I call her the princess. And I don't call nobody names. I call her Princess Kayla. Mark is my prince, and he's calling me queen. So these things, that's something I, embedded him. Like my son, he already said he don't want to work for nobody. So he already got that in his head. He's going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to tell them, when you turn 18, I get you your house. No, I said I get you an apartment and you'll have a car. The first thing that they both said to me was, I don't want an apartment. I want a house. So they already know the things that they want and they know what it takes to get there, especially with credit as well. So those things, we wasn't brought up that way, but it's up to us to change these curses and break those cycles though, as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, I also say this, right? As a king, as a god, I also say that oftentimes we come from a place where we've had a certain level of money, no matter how you got it. If you stripped to get it, if you sold crack to get it, if you prostituted to get it, however you chose to get it, you might have had 15,000, you might have had 30,000, you might have had all of these different levels of income and didn't know what to do with it at that time because of how it was coming, right? So you like, I can spend $1,000, I can spend $500 because I'm gonna see it tomorrow. I'm gonna strip tomorrow. I'm gonna sell dick. I'm gonna sing. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. And now, when you can't get to that level of money, for some people, they become a certain level of discouraged because they're used to instant gratification, and they forget that life is still about preparation. So you had it once, didn't know what to do with it. I'm gonna teach you what to do with it along the way, so that when you get it again, you won't lose it. You won't lose it the next time. You're gonna use it the next time. You feel me? So, for me, one of my favorite stories to tell is how I had a car, a Cayenne Porsche in 2013. I had a Cayenne Porsche that I spent $30,000 on. I never ever drove the car. I didn't know how to drive. I didn't care to learn how to drive. I didn't know none of this shit. I let my man drive the shit every single day, right? And when I went to jail, I sold the car for 20, but I had the car for a year. So it's like I got $10,000 worth of rides out of it, but I was able to pay for the lawyer. I was able to do these different things. And now I've been home for 4 years. I haven't even seen $10,000 in one shot since being home, even though my life changed, right? And I'm not slanging no more, but it's still the thought pattern, like, how do I get there again? You know what I'm saying? Now that I know what to do with it to a certain degree, is how do I get to 10 to make that 10, 20? How do I make 40? You know what I'm saying? And it's still, I know that God is preparing me for those particular situations because I didn't know what to do with it when I had it at that time. So that just coincides with what Gladys was saying as far as if we would have known what we know now, we would be way more advanced in life.
That is true. It's different when you have disposable income, and then you have to really find streams of income to make it legit. Disposable income is so easy to come by, and we don't have respect for money. But when you're not thinking outside the box on how to create streams of income, that's where it becomes hard, because now you're relying on a job to allow you to be able to access or to earn money. But at the same time, in order to maintain your life, you have to spend money. Whereas with disposable
Right.
income, it's just coming in and going out. And you don't have to worry about how to make it because you already have that one way of making it, and it's a sure thing. So
But
it's
selling drugs is different than prostituting because like for real, I'm gonna tell you this. I ain't never sell it yet. You know what I'm saying? But I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about.
You've been thinking about
You know what I'm saying?
prostituting?
Hell yeah, I've been thinking about just coming through with the R. Kelly song on, and I was just getting lots of dope. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Like
he's
I've been thinking
joking.
about. But when selling drugs, you watching out for so many different situations that you can encounter, right? So you got the jokes man watching you, you got the haters watching you, you got the cops watching you. Like you got all these different, you got the competition, right? You got all this different stuff going on as a drug dealer, and there's no guarantees with it. Whereas, selling, it's no guarantees with being a woman and selling your ass or whatever the case might be, because now you got to worry about the being a rape victim, and the dude not wanting to get the money up, and him being physically stronger than you, and all these different things. So there's yeah, like it's so much that comes with with those particular lifestyles where, like, I've never felt the liberty that I have, or sense of liberty that I have now working a 9 to 5, right? Or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to worry about none of those things, even though I'm still conscious of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's more because of me being a street dude. It's because of me being in prison that I'm conscious of the possibility, not necessarily that I'm actually doing something wrong though.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you out there and you in the lifestyle, like you like you like, oh I see Southern, and sometimes that should be like you're paranoid. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I seen him watching me too hard. Let me put this up. I don't know who this nigga was across the street. Like, you know what I'm saying? It raises your antennas, even when a person is not watching you, or you just don't know.
Absolutely. Now, when you're working a 9 to 5, though, when we're taught to go to work and come home, we're still training our mind, ourselves, not to be business owners, because we're dependent on that guaranteed check versus taking a risk and finding a avenue where you can create a business and earn money. Because again, running a business and starting a business is hard, and there's so many misconceptions. I mean, it looks good once it gets running, but people don't understand the hard work that you have to put into it. So most people rather just do the 9 to 5 than to do the work to have ownership of something where they don't have to punch a clock, or they don't have to report to anyone, and they can create this income, and then they have the ability to create streams of income that can make them multimillionaires. I'm still working on that my daggone self. So definitely, I know that. Huh?
Not to interrupt you, that also comes into play with, like, we stagnate ourselves by having this thing called fear and doubt, right? Which is attached to why we won't take the risk, right? And it's called the what if syndrome, right?
You can't have fear.
How I broke myself out of that what if syndrome, I start saying, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. If don't mean shit, right? And it gave me the freedom to take the risk, like my clothing line, right? I made the decision to say to myself, every time that I wear a pair of Nikes, I'm living in somebody else's mind, right? And everything that we do in our day-to-day activity, we live in somebody else's mind because it started out there. They put it on paper, they drafted it, and they made it happen, right? So you think about Bentley, right? Bentley wasn't scared of the risk that was taken, but now Bentley is one of the most famous cars in the world, and the first Bentley that was ever sold, still till today, never had a physical commercial that you saw on TV or nothing. Their commercial was word of mouth. That was their advertisement. But the first Bentley ever sold was sold for $70,000. Now you can go get a Bentley for $3 million. And it was just about the forget about the what if. We gonna find out. That's the difference. We gonna find out.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm into a lot of books and reading and stuff. I don't know if y'all watched the movie The Secret. I mean, yeah, the movie The Secret.
Yeah.
And one of the things is you watched it, right? And it's a really good movie, right?
Absolutely.
I tell anybody to watch that because you really cannot live in fear. Because if you live in fear, you're not going to make it anyway. You're going to always be scared to put that 1 foot forward. And I always tell my friends, like, one thing is I would never tell somebody something that I wouldn't do.
Right.
That's something I wouldn't do. So, like, for me, and my friends always say, like, Gladys, how do you do it? First of all, I don't live in fear.
Thank
you.
So
I was like, you think that I wanted to get a car out? I said to her, you think I wanted to get that car? No, I was kind of scared, but you know what? I took that lead. I wrote it down, wrote what I needed to do, and in 4 months, I had a car. Was I ready for it? No. That came with 3 extra bills. My kid's dad, I took my kids out of public school, put them in private school. Was I ready to pay the extra tuitions for both of them kids? No, I wasn't. But guess what? I'm gonna make sure I get that money to make sure that they stay in that school. So all that did for me was push me harder and make me want to go for everything that I want in life without living in fear.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It give you a different level of hunger. Yeah, because you know what you're doing it for, right? Now, I ain't gonna lie, I never saw the movie. What's the name of it? The Secret?
The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my secret.
But what do you think the secret is, though?
I'm gonna smell good. That's my secret.
No,
I'm gonna smell good.
I'm sorry, Fred. Staxx, what do you think the secret is?
Hold on. You called me another man's name, woman.
That's Lord. You gotta be talking about me. But what do you think the secret is?
I didn't even hear that.
Staxx, but no, for real, what do you think the secret is?
No, listen now. Woman, don't sass me now. I'm asking you nicely, anime.
What do you think the secret is?
The secret is make sure you smell good.
The secret is attraction. That's what the secret is, attraction.
The secret
That's why you go watch that movie.
The law of attraction, absolutely.
Yes. Because you are what you attract. You are what you attract.
Here's what they don't tell you. Here's what they don't tell you. Even with the secret being attraction, the law of attraction, there's multiple secrets.
Yeah, I'm here. You
ain't moving. You kind of froze.
No. I'm
not frozen. Now you froze for a minute. I was like, oh.
Your eyes is too still.
Yeah, cause this is my. I got the Debo eye. Don't make fun of me.
You're right. It comes a lot, but that's one of the main things.
Generally, I always say this, right? Because we have because we have a high level of hate. We deposit that. We illustrate it, right? In conduct. Forget about theory. Right? From our daily conversation about black people. Yo, look at that nigga. He ain't shit. Look at that bitch. Her shoes is fake, right? And generally you don't hear that come from white people. If they talk about each other, they talk about each other in the comfortability of the home. They don't necessarily run around saying, do you see this pencil dick over here? Like they don't do shit like that, right? And we've shown so much hate that even when I've said for the past year, I've said, listen, $50 a week times 52 is $2,600. 10 people, all it takes is 10 of us instead of going to borrow the money and being in debt and all that, we could have our own small business with 10 people. And we could do that 10 times and all of us can own a business, right? No matter what the business is, you'll always have a percentage of it. I'll have a percentage of it. And we just keep going, right? We got to create our own Black Wall Street where we start with us. And if we decide to let someone else in, that's what we choose to do. But it's not necessarily going to happen. Why? Because Tanika got kids. So if you giving up $2,600 in a year, the thought pattern is that my kids is going to be all right. Maybe not tomorrow, but they're going to be all right if something goes wrong. My investment helps that. Same thing for you. Same thing for me. So oftentimes it's the secret is I got to be willing to take a risk no matter what a white man could say about Gladys or Tanika or anybody else that's Black. Don't trust him. You can't trust a nigger. He's going to make a fool out of you. And because we've been lied to so long, we start to really believe that about our own people. We'll automatically put a person in a position to not trust them before we trust them because of everything else that we've already experienced. And the real people that's lying to us is the people that don't want to see us unified. Because if we get, as Black people, if we start to build unity amongst each other, we can't be stopped. And that's the thing that white people don't want to see.
Well, you don't know what the secret is because you haven't seen the movie, but the secret doesn't even pertain to that. But I agree with you. But it doesn't pertain to what we're talking about. Because you haven't seen the movie, so you wouldn't even know what we're talking about when I say you know what the secret is.
Yo, you talking about a movie with actors, and I'm talking about my real life.
I'm not talking. Wait, hold on. Can you please give them the information? Because I'm not talking about a movie with actors like you said. No, they're talking to you about things in real life, things that go on. How do you even like go about your daily day? Things like that. It breaks down like how to go about houses. You writing down things, putting things into the universe, speaking into existence. So you don't know what we're talking about. And when I said secret, I said it's attraction because you are what you attract. If you're a bad person with a bad soul, that's what you're going to attract. If you're a good person with a good soul and your mind is on straight, you're going to attract those type of people.
So let me ask you something.
Exactly. So the gateway to this to utilize the law of attraction to benefit you is to practice self-love. Because when you practice self-love, you're going to make the best choices for yourself. You're going to want the best for yourself and you're going to put out the best. And so when you use the law of attraction, you're going to attract the best for yourself.
For you, yes.
Let me ask y'all something. Movie queens, since I never saw it.
This is not a competition, Staxx.
I ain't trying to compete, man. I'm the greatest. Why would I compete? Come on now. Listen, I just want to ask a question. Can I ask? Or just tell me no.
You can ask, not ask. You can ask.
Oh, the professor has spoken. So my question is this, right? If you are what you attract, right? And most people believe that they are good people, quote unquote, right? I'm a good person. I love everyone. I do this. Why is it that the person that they look at and say is a bad person is doing better than them in life?
What? You said, wait, repeat your question again?
If you believe, right? If you believe that that you are what you attract, right? And let's say that you believe that you're a loving person, right? You're a good mother. You're a good person, right? And you end up attracting negativity, right? Or negativity, you're surrounded by it. Not that you're attracted.
I'm sorry to cut you off because I can't even see that. Like I can't even imagine that because
exactly.
Like what you're saying right now to me
doesn't make sense.
It's irrelevant because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because you can't be a bad person and attracting negative. That's impossible. I've never even. That's just insane. That's impossible. That's impossible. I don't know. For me, that just sounds crazy. And speaking of my personal experience, and the same for you as well. Like my energy, I attract a lot of people because of my energy. Not
Right.
like strangers. Strangers is crazy because they gravitate to me more. And I don't even know you from a hole in the wall.
You ever?
So you know what I'm saying? Like your energy, like I can give you an example. I was in a gas station, talking to a lady. She see me every morning, say hello. I speak to her every morning. She asked me, "What do my daughter dance?" I said, "No, because nowadays you gotta pay for your kids to go to these dance schools." You know what this lady turned around and said to me, and she don't even know me. I'll sponsor your daughter. You are what you attract, and those are the type of people that I am attracting. So no, like I'm glad that I'm gonna have to pay out of pocket because somebody was willing to sponsor my daughter.
All right, let's jump into something that don't have nothing to do with finance. Let's talk about relationships. If you are what you attract, yeah, let's talk about it.
Talking about what we actually came here to talk about.
Huh?
But now you're talking about attraction in a relationship now, right?
Listen, the law of attraction is the law of attraction. We're not gonna act like that only works for finances or whatever.
No, we're not saying it works for finances. It's just saying people, even you just meeting somebody or connect, getting out in the world. It could be anything. Is that
your energy?
It could be your energy.
We speak exactly. We speak in energy and vibrations. So someone that's the language.
Right.
That the universe speaks in. Vibration.
I don't know shit about the universe because like it's too much going on in that shit.
But that's why they say watch what you speak when you speak things into the universe. When you speak things into the universe,
it comes right back to you.
Right.
Who the hell is they?
What?
Who is they? You said they said. Who the hell is they?
No, I'm just saying in general, like the things that I watch, like it is true. What you and like this, the book and the movie, The Secret, it tells you that too as well. You do have to watch what you put into the universe. That's like if you sitting there complaining all day, like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. You're gonna continue not to have this and not that because you don't even got belief in yourself. But if you sit there and be like, oh, I'm gonna have A, B, and C, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have that, you already put that in the universe, and that's gonna come to you. Because I sat there and said, what was last year, 2021, 2022? I made it my mission to get what I wanted, and I got everything I wanted because I put it in the universe. So I never sit there and speak negativity. I speak positive only.
Exactly. So you said speak positivity and into the universe. Let me. The moon is a full moon, Mr. Moon. I need your help.
We're in Mercury retrograde, so he's not. This is where the confusion and illusion is coming in because he's not.
I'm speaking this. Can I speak into the universe, or y'all the only ones that can speak into the universe?
You're being real facetious right now.
Right.
No, I'm trying to speak into the universe, but y'all won't let me.
Okay, go ahead, Staxx.
Universe. I want one of my artists that I'm working with to do a song with one of Gladys' artists, and I want it to happen in 2022, not 2023. Not 2024, not 2025.
But you don't got to speak it to us. That's something that you put into you. This is something that you want, right? So then you got to make it your business to make it happen. So don't think that you're going to make it your business to make that happen then.
You gotta think about it, ask for it, and do the work towards it.
Exactly.
You know, that's how that works. You know, you ever think about somebody, right? What? And then all of a sudden,
what?
I'm like, gosh, I need to call so-and-so. Next thing you know, the phone rings. And it's that same person that you need to call.
That's not how that works.
That's the law of attraction. That's speaking to the universe and the universe answering you back.
The universe don't talk to you.
What if I was sleeping and they was thinking about me and woke me about my motherfucking sleep?
What? Like, see, now he's just being totally like just ridiculous. Like, you want to move on to the next topic because evidently you're not even on the same. You're not even. I don't know because you're joking with it, but at the same time you can joke with it. But I don't think that you actually seeing exactly what we're saying.
Listen, all right. Let me just say this, right?
Like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. No, that's something you do in your own time. Like you put that stuff into it. Those are things you speak into existence. You do.
All right, listen. I want to say this.
I don't know if you meditate, like, but I don't know.
Yeah, listen. I want to say this to you, right? Before you could ever get it in your mind, right, that I'm not grasping what you're saying. I just chose to tell a few jokes. I didn't mean to offend your movie, The Secret, right? what works for Gladys don't work for Staxx though, right? And your perception.
You didn't even know what we were talking about at first. You didn't even know what we were talking about at first.
Listen,
you made a whole statement. I'm like, that has nothing to do with what we talking about. Did he or did he not?
No, I was telling a joke. I never read the movie. I never read the book, and I never saw the movie. Right?
You ain't missing nothing, Staxx.
I read things, and I read things that works for me, right? And generally, right, like I just held a conversation with somebody 2 days ago. They was talking about the 48 laws of power and the law of attraction and the art of seduction. And I'm like, I don't need to read nothing that I actually live. Like I don't need to
believe in it. You say you live in it. You live it, but do you believe in it? Because you have to believe in it for it to really happen.
Exactly. I don't even think he believed it. That's the crazy thing.
Yo, I listen. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in the law of attraction. I don't believe that if something that I say in the universe, right? Like y'all saying, right? I don't.
But it's the way you're taking it. We're just saying in general, like when you by yourself, the things that you speak of, like we talking about by yourself, the things that you say that you're putting into the universe, the things that she's saying, it's all like personal things that you're speaking into existence to the universe. Not some that just thing, like you saying, like how you said before, like some dumb shit that you had said, like what? I was like, what?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that man got a Bible. That man got a Bible. Hey, Staxx.
Hold on, wait. You was waiting to be offended by my statement. Right? You was waiting to be offended by my statement because generally I hold these conversations often. If I don't agree with what you're saying, automatically I don't know what you're talking about. Right? I don't even do debates because I allow people the space to believe whatever the fuck they want to believe. If you believe, I know people really, right? I really know people that really believe that when they pray to the universe. And I always ask this. So when you pray to the universe, which moon answers you? Which star answers you, right? And they have no answer for that.
But you're being funny.
Exactly.
No,
I'm saying, but in his head, no. We know in your head you are being funny. No, you are Staxx. If somebody else was watching this, I don't know who's watching. They would say, no, you're being funny. No, dead serious. And we're serious too.
I'm being dead serious.
Funny. You're not being realistic because if you were being realistic, you would be honestly thinking about what we're saying. Like, just be realistic about what we are saying. Because you're not. You're being
like
funny.
I said. Y'all both, me and Tanika hold conversations often, so she know when I'm being serious, she know when I'm joking. You just don't. But because I disagree with you,
talking about
because I disagree with you.
Staxx, move on to the next thing because you're gonna just drag this. Somebody want to drag this. Let's move on to the next topic. Let's not drag it.
Look, let's talk about what Gladys wants to talk about. Let's make you comfortable because. If we disagree, you automatically assume once again that I don't know what you're talking about. You're entitled.
You don't assume, but do you hear yourself? But hold on, let me ask you a question. Do you feel like he's being funny?
I don't think that he's taking the conversation as serious as we are.
Okay.
What?
So yeah, let's move on to the next, and it's true. So let's just move on to the next thing. There's no need for us to even go through a whole lecture that you're gonna give.
Staxx.
Like no. Let's move on to the next topic.
No lecture, Staxx.
Y'all know him. Y'all know how
you lecturer.
Because his example just had me fucked up anyway. Like you want to ask the person with no, let them speak their shit. Like don't ask them nothing. You shouldn't even be listening to them.
Look what you just said. You shutting me down because I disagree with you. You're telling me about what I do.
Pick the topic. Just go to the next topic. Like,
you can pick the topic. I'm not liking your aggression. I'm scared to death. I don't know what to do. Pick the topic and let's talk about it.
All right. My topic I want to pick is why. Let me not say all men. Why do majority of men lie when it comes to
Why do women lie? Why do women lie?
Why do some or the majority of men lie instead of just keeping it in a buck? Instead of a man like leading you on, thinking you gonna it's gonna be you and him, and he would just want to fuck. Like, why not just blatantly keep it a buck and tell a female what it is?
Why do women lie?
Well, you gotta.
All women. You can't say why do women lie because all women don't lie. So Staxx, you cannot say that because for me, I don't lie. I'd rather tell you the truth and leave it up to you to make your own decision. That's why
cool. So check this out. I only can speak for Staxx, right? That's one. Two, yes. Right? You just told me what I cannot say, and I said it. Why do people lie?
No, you said that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said why do women lie? That's what you said. You didn't say people at first. That's not what you said. So don't do that.
Listen, what I'm about to tell you, right? You said why do some men lie, right?
Full moon.
And I said it is a full moon.
It is.
And I said why do women lie, right? Why do women lie? To prove a point, right? Lying is not just a some men thing, and it's not just a woman thing. That's a people thing. People lie, right?
All right, so why do people lie? My thing is men. My question is specifically on men. So you can't just switch my question around. My question is, like I just said, why do men lie instead of keeping it a buck? That is my question.
Is this a topic? Because
so just answer the question. Like why? All right. So why do some men lie? Can you tell us that? Instead of
I'm only one man.
Don't be snitching, Staxx. Don't be snitching.
I'm not snitching because it's really leading someone on. When you could have just told them like, "Hey, ma, I just want to fuck."
Everybody make their own choices. You fell for the lie. You fell for the lie.
No,
you wanted to believe
anything. I'm not one of those.
I ain't talking about you specifically. You asked the question. That's the answer. People make their own choices. You got to deal with your own choices.
Here's
your choices.
We're not speaking about people. I'm just saying why. I'm asking specifically because we're not speaking. I'm saying a specific gender.
I'm specifically answering you.
Men, why wouldn't a man tell a girl like?
Women allow them men to lie to them. Them women allow men to lie to them.
Just like
men allow women to lie to them. They'll be like, all right, I know this is some bullshit, but fuck it.
Some women, right? Some women get fascinated by the illusion, right? Because and I'm only gonna say this because we're in the era of people saying red flags. I've never seen so many bloods in my life with all these motherfucking red flags, right? So, hey yo, boy, a lot of women, right? A lot of women will they love to live in the illusion because it's something that they actually want, right? Whether it's a lie or not. If you can't say that I took your option away by lying, right? And then you found out that I was lying and you chose to stay. You had the option.
Well,
once you thought I was lying.
You do take initially you take the option away by lying because now we have to believe what you say until you show us different. Mm-hmm. So we have to trust that you're being honest first.
You can't answer the question, Staxx. You ain't got the answers, Staxx. You ain't got the answers, Staxx. You ain't got the answers. How, Staxx? How, Staxx? You ain't got the answers.
Like me, I'm a blunt person. I don't lie. A nigga dead asked me when it was cold, like, "Oh, can we cuddle and get some wine?" You know what my response was? I don't even fucking know you from a hole in the wall, so why would I want to do anything with you? And I don't even want to get to know you. The nigga wrote back, he was like, "You're mean." No, I'm a fucking realist, and that's what I wrote.
Talk that shit.
The fuck, like I'm telling you what it is straight out the door. I'm not gonna sit here and lead you on, keep texting like good afternoon, good. I'm telling you straight out the fucking door. Period.
Maybe that man was homeless. Okay, he was trying to warm himself up. It's mad cold outside.
No, he got his own place, but it's still the point. Like what? No, I'm not gonna lead you on, and they make you think you have a chance when you don't.
That's good. You got boundaries.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's about telling the truth.
You learn from experience. You learn from experience.
You just tell the truth.
You see through the bullshit. That's good. You need to teach a class on that.
Hey, yo.
A lot of cats out here need that game.
Yo, Tanika, right?
Yeah.
And your profession, right?
Tanika acting brand new today. I don't know.
I'm not acting brand new.
I'm appreciating this.
I have a conducive conversation, and right now it's just really not being conducive.
I just want to ask this, right? I know why it's not conducive. I'm not entitled to disagree. But look,
Yo, you're an asshole. Shut up, Staxx.
Now you call me names and stuff like that. Come on, man.
Passive aggressive today. What's going on?
Look.
We are in Mercury. We are in retrograde. So this is
that's the reason.
Until February 4th. This is what happens: confusion, illusion, unbalance, disagreement, all of those things. Communication is off.
We got to get out the universe. We got to get in somewhere else. Listen, I want Yo, look.
Yo.
Tanika, in your profession, right? In your profession, how many women or men, people, right, have you seen that or dealt with or heard, spoken to, that was fascinated by the illusion that was created for them?
I don't think so much fascinated about the illusion. They wanted something to believe in. They wanted something to believe in. However, I believe that when you're not healed, or when you have trauma, or you've lived traumatic experiences, those things carry on into your relationships and your choices. When you don't practice self-love, those things carry on into those relationships. So I believe that the women that, including myself, that fell for a lot of the lies and deceit that the men told us was because we didn't love ourselves to know better, and we accepted. We accepted what we got because we didn't know we deserved better.
So
wait, Staxx.
Hold on, Sam. So what you saying is that when a man accepts the lies of a woman, that's why I don't like the whole conversations that sex is. I say people, right? Because generally, I know for a fact that people lie. I'm not gonna we're not gonna make it seem like it's just a man thing. You know what I'm saying? So generally, right? Let me speak generally. This is how we make this conversation broad, right? So you're saying that on an even scale, that men have the same problem with loving themselves, and they embrace and accept this sense of illusion that is created by living in the lie that was told.
Absolutely. And on top of that, men are told that they're not supposed to express their feelings. They're not supposed to have emotions. They're not supposed to have needs, wants, and desires. They're just supposed to provide and protect and man up.
So what you're saying is every time a single mother hits her son and tells him not to cry because he's gonna be a faggot or a little girl, she's lying to him, and he's living a lie going through the course of life.
She's instilling bad habits. Absolutely. She's instilling unhealthy behavior, because now he's gonna grow up thinking that it's wrong for him to be able to express himself, and he's going to go out in life and be angry. His anger and his frustration because he can't express himself, because society, his parents, and everyone else told him that if he did, he wasn't a man. He wasn't a strong man at that. You know what I mean?
Yo, Sam.
Okay.
How you doing, Sam?
Wait a minute. Hello, knowledge. Hello.
That's what I'm talking about. Come in here like you got some respect.
And
Shans Graham.
Because knowledge always, I don't want to say hello to people.
Wait. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
What is that?
I didn't want to just say hey y'all and try to be quick. But
that's okay. Dr. Love did it earlier. Don't worry. You good.
Dr.
You off the hook.
I love what you said, because you use one of my favorite words.
I don't.
My new words, healing, trauma. That dealing with that is a major reason why everything you said today. We live in trauma, and people don't believe that we live in trauma, and it's so sad. Our trauma is so deep that it became culturally accepted, and that's why we have them problem. What you speak about and what you questioning, the same thing you threw back to her is all because of trauma.
What borough of New York is that? What borough is the trauma borough? That's New York? What part of New York is that?
I say this, right?
That's Brooklyn.
The reason I don't have a problem. I know that we all experience trauma and we live in trauma and different things of that nature, right? I also have a problem not with maybe you or Tanika saying it. I have a problem with the red flag thing, right? A woman to say red flag, and I'm like, yo, sweetheart, just because you put a name on it, it doesn't make it different than what it really is, right? You acting like you just learned this yesterday, and then now that it's red flag this, red flag that, it makes it sound more politically correct. When in reality, you've been living in something else. You just got a title for it. You got something that sounds a certain level of sophisticated to you, to the human ear, right? But some people will learn something yesterday and try to teach it today and still don't know shit about what they're talking about. I have a problem with that.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. And I further with Staxx. You know what I used to say? Like, I used to hate when people say, I'm gonna use a simple example. You always pick the same kind of man and not really understanding what that means. What do you mean? This one is tall, this one is short, this one is that, this one is that. As I say it all the time, and we go back and forth about the toxicities in my life is what attracted me to the same kind of person that was equally as toxic. So this person who says this red flag thing or whatever, she's just pretending she identifies something because she's not really what a fish was in herself. Because it doesn't matter what the other person is. It matters what you are. If you get you right, you won't attract them red flags. Because you won't associate with them kind of people. And it's not that they're bad people, but when people are not moving in the way that you want to move, you don't tend to associate with them.
Did your attraction? I just want to.
Said it.
Hold on. Can I ask my question? Can I ask my question?
The person that was supposed to be joining in was saying that they were trying to get on and can't.
Good.
They must be using Safari and not Google.
No, it's Mercury retrograde, fam. That's why. That's what it is.
So now my question to you, Sam, and I'm only saying this to mess with Gladys because as soon as you said attraction, she started. She put a pin down. She acted like she was right.
She's like attraction.
I'm just messing with her.
Message.
Did your attraction come from the universe, or did your attraction?
Don't do that. You see, yo.
I'm just messing with you.
Crazy shit, but go ahead.
Don't be so tight. I'm just messing with you, man. I come on here to have a good time, to educate, to be educated. I'm not trying to offend you. You don't got to be defensive.
But I was right anyway.
But
so how about that?
The movie was right. You ain't come up with that.
No, I didn't come on. You're 100% right, but I knew I was right.
And they stole it from the Bible. They stole it from the Bible.
Well, we're not going to talk about that. Let's not talk about that, God.
That's where they stole it from, the Bible.
Because when you mention the Bible, they think
they steal stuff from the Bible and they put it out like it's a remix. The Secret, the Law of Attraction. The New Testament say, asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be opened unto you.
Well,
it's right there. It's written.
Whether it's social media or anything, I'm glad to see.
The Sham just cut me off. Huh? Damn, Sham, we was just cool. We was just cool.
I'm trying my headphones. I don't know why. Sometimes my phone just be mad low. So if you wasn't talking,
it's the retrograde, sis. It's the retrograde. Okay, it ain't you. Mercury acting up. Mercury acting up right now. Okay, the planets are in retrograde. So you can't hear me, I can't hear you. So I'm talking over you, and you.
Well, why you whispering?
Okay, because I'm not getting aggravated. Okay, I'm in tune. I'm in zen right now. Okay,
he ain't talking with the baby voice. But I don't care what people. I don't care where people's getting it from. I'm glad people are starting to tap into their traumas.
I care where they're getting it from.
I don't. I'm glad people are being more vocal about
that's the secret.
Well, the concern with people tapping into their traumas and being more vocal about it is what are they doing to seek help about it? Just acknowledging is one thing, but what are you doing to resolve that?
Well,
How much
just bringing it out. Like, I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about, you know, a person that used to be on crack. And he was saying that now that he doesn't have the ability, or he's not interested in self-medicating, he's faced with these traumas that he never dealt with. And he's feeling more depressed. But what are you doing to deal with them? You can bring them to the forefront, but now in order to heal from it, you got to go through it. So what is your next step?
Well, knowing thyself is the first step. When you realize that you are involved in these traumas or these things that affected your life, you have to first get comfortable with being able to accept that, yeah, guess what? I might be the toxic one, you know, and that's why all this stuff around me is going on. And when you're ready to accept that, then you can seek help. You understand? Or I like to say, some of the laws of attraction. I believe that help then seeks you out. You understand? Because you're now attracting something new. You're requesting something, and the universe is going to give it to you. But after you decide to know, you have to want. Some people don't want help, you know. Like on my journey, I've learned that people don't want to be reminded of their traumas and their pain. People really don't want to face that. It's easier to be toxic because I know toxic for 35 years. That's all I know. I know this pain. I know this hurt. I know this judgment. I know this letdown. I don't know real love. I don't know real acceptance. I don't know what it means to be in a healthy relationship. I don't know what it is to love my children effectively. I know this stuff. I do this stuff well. I'm really not ready to experiment with this shit you telling me that's good. Because I survived with this shit. I don't know what's going to happen with this shit.
Can I ask something?
Graham?
Yo, man, I just feel so traumatized about different things in my life, and I'm hurt, and I need to heal, and I need to know who can I get help from for free. I ain't got no money, and I ain't got no insurance that's gonna pay for it. So who gonna give me therapy?
Well,
who gonna diagnose me?
Well, the question to be healed is not to be diagnosed. You know, you don't have to be diagnosed. You don't have to have a mental illness to need to be healed. Dealing with your trauma doesn't necessarily mean that you have a mental illness.
Exactly.
Right? So
that
you
can.
There's tons of places you can seek help.
I was talking about therapy. I was talking about therapy.
But which kind of therapy you may need? Because some people find their therapy. You go to a men's group and find your therapy. You can go to if you're an alcoholic, you can go to an AA meeting and find your therapy. You can find your therapy anywhere. To me, the trick to find the effective line of therapy is finding someone willing to listen to you and help you unpack. Not do it for you, not judge you, not tell you you're right or wrong, but to allow you to unpack your traumas.
How much you charge, Sham?
Sham, how much you charge? I want you. I want you, Sham. How much you charge? Listen, for real.
You know what? Me and Dr. Love need to link because I'm thinking that maybe I need to apply for my life coach. Listen, I have multiple master degrees. I've been working in social services for 101 years, but that's something different. But
listen, I want to hire you. I'm feeling your Cleo and set it off braids. Like as long as I want you to be.
Let's take just a little bit.
I want you to be my therapist. You gonna listen to me?
So I can do hair.
Try.
I'm always mad when someone do my hair, but I haven't braided my own hair in so long, right? I don't know if you guys can see, but I literally did my own cornrows. Look.
I can see it. It looks nice. I like the color.
They cool, right? My parts are a little jabby, but you know.
Nope. Nobody listens to me, man. I need
somebody. Nobody. Did I do
something wrong? In order to get free assistance, I would suggest that you align yourself with people who are where you want to go. Find out how they did that. They will be able to tell you the same thing that we're telling you, that you have to work through all your past traumas. You have to acknowledge your faults, the areas and where you lack, and you have to align yourself with people that's going to strengthen those. Remember, I told you there's two type of people that you have in your life. You have the people that are in need of you, and then you have the people that you need. So the people that are in need of you are where they are trying to get where you are. And then you have the people trying to move to the next level. So now you're going to align yourself with those people.
I feel like I need you. I feel like I need you, and
I charge $100 an hour.
Now, why not kick me out the chat like that?
It's that McDonald's Wi-Fi. I'm ready to come. I'm ready to come and just let it out. I just need somebody that's gonna help me unpack.
Retrograde. It wasn't me.
What's that? Blame it on Mercury. We have a conversation. Don't you learn something? You learn something from me, and you learn something about yourself, right?
He said he learned that you be acting brand new. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
He said you be acting brand new. He learned that.
Tanika, we hold conversations. We hold conversations. We learn from each other.
Exactly.
When I pay, I'm paying.
See, you're feeling defensive when I'm paying right now because you're feeling defensive right now.
No, listen to me.
She know what you feeling.
When I pay you,
she know what you feeling.
You don't know
what you feeling, Staxx. When I pay you ain't got the answer, Staxx. You don't know what you feeling.
When I pay you, I'm paying for you to just listen. I don't want nothing. I don't want you to say nothing. I just want you to listen and just let me just let it out, man. I feel like
it don't work like that, Staxx.
Look, they're not even listening now. You gonna pay somebody to do that? She's doing that for free right now.
We're not gonna let you self-sabotage.
I could cut you off the whole time while you talking, Staxx.
If you
can keep your
if you want to just ramble to something,
how am I?
Hey, Staxx, I can just tell you it don't work like that. It don't work like that.
Social worker,
you ain't got the answer, Staxx. It don't work like that.
Let them write notes, but to have an effective session, I think it needs
Sam Graham, it don't work like that. What you talking about right now? It don't work like that.
It needs to
see how easy that is, Staxx. You can do it too. You can do it with me. You just tell them when they start talking, you say it don't
work. If you take the food off my plate again, I'm gonna smack you.
Oh.
Yo, the dog I got up to go to the bathroom and she ran and she grabbed the turkey wing off my plate.
Yo, that's family food. She part of the family.
No, you too fat.
You fat shaming the dog on live, yo? That's what you doing?
Yes. My dog's gonna be 13 pounds. She's 24 pounds.
You don't work like that, Sham Graham. It don't work like that.
Yo, Sham, pick a topic that needs to be spoken about before we go. We got about 10 minutes because I gotta
We ain't even got 10 minutes. You got 3 minutes.
I need to drink after this one. Gladys done raised my
mad late, Sham Graham.
Yo, I was working mad late, yo.
Yeah, it don't work like that.
I was working mad. I didn't get for work like 6:49. Because everybody my job.
Pick a topic. Pick a topic that needs to be spoken about. Yeah, Sham, you can pick the topic because you came in last, and we want to talk about. We want to get to the nitty gritty of everything or whatever. And I need to get out of here in 10 minutes. I need a drink. Gladys done raised my blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? And then she had a co-defendant. They tried to talk me. They didn't try to talk me.
Brand new today. I'm spicy and wild disrespectful in here.
I'm going to the universe. I'm speaking into the universe, man. Give me
Finding love.
Pour me a cold one, Mr. Universe.
You heard me? Finding love. That's my topic. How to find love.
One, maybe I might be a little bit annoyed because when we talked about coming on here, we talked about a specific topic that we never even brought up.
Damn.
Which one is that?
What's that?
The message that I sent you about men being providers and protectors. So that's what we were supposed to be talking about. Remember?
They don't want to be that. I didn't know there was a topic.
Yeah. So that's why I'm a little off, because we're not even talking about what we were supposed to be talking about.
You had the floor. We can talk about that. We can definitely talk about that. I'm for it. I'm not going to drink. I was joking. But go ahead.
We talked about that like 2 weeks ago on my show, and the men embarrassed me. Because listen to a lot of things the men say. Men really don't want to be provided. A lot of men don't want to be providers these days. It is sad. Unless they just don't want to provide to the African-American woman. Unless that's
I want all of y'all to speak first, because I'm a gentleman, and then I'm gonna say this. I might not even need to come on the show tonight until you put the second topic up there, because what I'm gonna say is it's like that. So go ahead, ladies, enjoy.
You definitely need a drink for tonight. Tonight's gonna be something else.
Say, but we don't have enough time to talk about this topic, honestly.
But she said, what was your question, Sam? What was Sam's question? About how do you find love? How do you find love? You don't find love. Love will find you. I don't know. Somebody told me don't go looking, because what wants me will find me. So I don't go looking. Okay.
I agree with her. I have the same answer. Love will definitely find you. You just take the steps and working towards what you want, and what you want will find you. You'll definitely know.
One from Stax's book. When you want to find love, you go to God, and He's going to direct you in the way you need to be. That's true. Yeah.
Unless it's Mercury.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about what Tanika wanted to talk about, because I don't disagree with none of y'all. Love gonna find you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna find you on the train. It's gonna find you when you're insane.
Got another show.
Tanika,
we don't have time to talk about what we want to talk about. He just said he has another show.
Well, he needs to not have another show on Tuesday until 8 o'clock.
How much time we got? How much time we got, Knowledge?
None. Zero. We got next week.
All right.
2-year anniversary show. Tell the people, man. Tell the people.
Nah, we're not gonna do no topics on 2-year anniversary. We got, you know what I'm saying? We gotta give spicy.
We gotta get spicy.
We gotta give honor to the platform. It's 2 years.
It's 2 years for you.
You gotta bring some y'all liquor and stuff.
Uh-oh.
I mean, if somebody bought me some, nobody bought me a drink this whole year. I'm used to it though.
I'm gonna buy you a shot.
Next
event I see you at, shout on me.
Nah, you don't gotta buy me a shot. Just even though you party on, even though you be in room 112 on Fridays, my birthday party is on Friday. Just come there before you go there.
Where you doing your birthday party at?
Harlem, H Loft, and on 145th in Lenox, between Lenox and 7th. I mean 7th and 8th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna rent some hookah from Louis Hookah and all that.
You gonna rent some hookah? You talking about like the actual pieces? The whole hookah. Like the whole. Oh, I got 14.
Nah.
Yeah. You don't even have to rent them. I'm telling you, you can use them. I'm not charging you anything.
That's what I'm talking
Only because it's you and it's your birthday. Like I'm telling you, I can show you. I got 14 hookahs. I got the charcoal. I have everything that you would need. Like I don't use it. I bought it for the event that we had last year. Never use it again. I don't know. I don't know if I can turn my camera, but I'm gonna show you.
Tell people where they can find you at, Gladys.
Say that again? No.
Tell people where they can find you at.
Harlem Finest. Harlem _finest 3 underscores. So when you want them, by all means.
Tell Tanika.
Yeah.
Tell them where they can find you at.
Woosah, Dr. Love. I'm feeling a lot of heat coming over that couch, yo. Over there.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Tanika B Love. My website is tanikabelove.com. You can also find me every week. We drop an episode at the Brunch Hour Podcast. I'm 1/3 host of the Brunch Hour Podcast.
Sam.
Yes, sir.
Sam, where can they find you at? And tell them what you specialize in.
Oh, I specialize in everything. Now, the one and only Sam, that's the #1 on Instagram. Every Tuesday we do a live from 8 to 11 that talk about relationships, so tap in if you can. I also support my man, which is Lou's Hookah Hub. We have our own hookah company where we specialize all your events. We supply all your events, anything that you need.
And before we go, I want to say this, right? The reason that a lot of men don't want to be protectors, quote unquote, providers, quote unquote, and all these other things is because we had a disservice and a disadvantage to women, not African American women, not white women, not none of that stupid shit.
All right.
We had a disadvantage to a woman with the mindset, with the mindset, with the mindset that she's so independent that she forgets that we have to be and have a high level of dependency on one another. Generally, African American women are forced to become independent because of two different reasons. One, because of a lot of men leaving the household and becoming deadbeats and different things of that nature. And two, because society is taking us away from the women. Even though we make choices, you got to think about forget about the statistics, because we don't know what the statistics are, but you think about how many African American men are locked up for crimes that they didn't commit, which means that they have been taken out of the household, and a woman is forced to be independent. And generally, when you've been independent for a long amount of time, you don't want to submit to a man as a provider. You don't want to become or a certain level of dependent. You don't want to share the responsibility because you've been doing it so long that you make a man feel like you serve a different purpose now. So that does that answer your question, my love?
That's your opinion, and again, we don't have time to get into it because I kind of, disagree with what you're saying. But I mean, again, we don't have time to get into it. We have to honor and respect this man's platform.
We can still go live on Instagram and talk about it
after my show today.
We can do it right now. We can do it right now.
Okay.
We don't gotta wait. We can go live right now.
Okay. I'm Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Yo, have a good night. Tanika, you going live?